come here, get over here, finishing, excellent, superb, fatality. Tootsie, those are words synonymous with a great video game franchise, Mortal Kombat. And the Mortal Kombat movie just came out a couple of days ago. It's for 2021. Let's see how it measures up against the 1995 one. There are good parts, there are bad parts, there are ugly parts. I'm just going to give a brief review of what I think this Mortal Kombat 2021 movie feels like. Is it worth your time? Well, let's find out. Welcome to the show, GVETech. I'm G Vader. Let's get to it. Mortal Kombat holds a special place in my heart because as a teenager it was one of the video games that I played. I played Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, even onto uni. I was playing the games, and even now, a couple of months ago, I downloaded or I bought the Mortal Kombat 11 game. So we've come from the early days of Mortal Kombat 1 to Mortal Kombat 11 now, and the franchise is still holding strong. Back in the days when the video game came out, it was a lot of concern for parents because there was a lot of blood, a lot of gore in it, and before that in video games there was not we didn't see as much graphic violence, and this Mortal Kombat actually led to there being a commission set up to rate games, a rating board for video games. So thanks to Mortal Kombat, video games have a rating. But let's get back to the movie. So I saw the movie yesterday, and I'm going to give you my thoughts about the movie. I liked the movie. It was a good popcorn filler movie, to be honest. But there are good parts, there are bad parts. And when the first movie came out in 1995, everyone we're so pumped because it was one of the first times that a video game property that you like, you play the game and then you hear them making a movie of it. You have so much expectations. You want to see how would the special moves translate into live action. How would they do all the effects and things like that? Who will play what roles? Which characters from the video game will actually be in the movie? And it was in 1995 when the movie came out. It was all we had. I loved it. It was good. It was good to see Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Jax, and so on. Shang Tsung, even Goro was there. So it was a good movie. Is it the best it could be? No, but it was still good for its time. And now, almost 30 years later, we have an upgrade, so to speak. We have the technology to make the effects and so on. So how does this movie stack up? I'm gonna go with the good things first. The good things I like about this movie, the first thing will be the fight scenes. The first 10 minutes was awesome. So we had the story of Scorpion and Hanzo and Bihan, that's Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And we know that both of their clans have been their arch enemies and they have a rivalry for all time. So the fight scenes were good. You could see Sub-Zero freezing and doing things. It was awesome. All across the movie, the fight scenes were good. They were well choreographed. There were a lot of wide shots, although there were some quick shots, but then again, you could actually see the fighting for the most part. So I would say the choreography of the fighting was good. I like the fact that they were able to translate the blow and gore. I don't play Mortal Kombat much anymore, but there's a lot of gore in the games where you break people's spine, break your ribs, and what happens is that they give you an X-ray vision to see how much damage this will actually do to a person if you're playing the game. So they translated that perfectly into the movie. So the special effects were able to do that. There were a lot of scenes here. It's not for the kids, to be honest. It's an R-rated movie, so it's not for kids. There are a lot of slicing and dicing and so on. So all those things that you expect from the video game were actually carried into the movie. So I would say that's a good one for them. Another thing I like about it that's good are some of the characters. I didn't say all the characters, I say some of the characters. So in my opinion, the best character in this movie is Kano. Kano was just something else. He was like comic relief, and he was the person that was making that was kind of like grounded in reality, because he was asking the weird questions, the real questions that any normal human being will ask when you're thrown into this kind of situations. There was a time when they first saw Liu Kang and he did a fireball move. Ken was like, wow, that's good. So when we all get our powers, when we all become mutants and so on and so forth. But it's a good one. Kano is good. Sub-Zero was perfect. I made a post yesterday and I said Sub-Zero is kind of like imagine Chucky grown up, and he's a ninja, he has skills, and he has freezing abilities. That's what Sub-Zero is here. So when he shows up, you best believe someone is gonna get killed. That's how it is. He's like a slasher guy. When he shows up and you see the atmosphere starts freezing, you know that, man, it's going down. I also love Scorpion. Last year there was a animated movie that came out, Mortal Kombat. That was perfect, and the story was just for Scorpion. It was Scorpion's story arc, and it was good. So I think they borrowed elements from that onto this movie. Let's get into the parts. Oh boy. One of the problems that video game movies have is having a great story, having a decent story. It's really hard to adapt the story from video games to a movie because you have multiple stories and so forth. It's been done time and time again, and it usually fails. I think, in my opinion now, the best video game movie, in my opinion, is still Mortal Kombat 1 from 1995. You can see what happened with Mario. The Super Mario Bros. Movie, it was a disaster. Street Fighter movie was a disaster. So story was all over the place. I didn't like the storyline. It was weak, to be honest. Compared to the 1995 movie, the storyline was weak. It's kind of hard, again, like I said before, translating video games movies onto story, on-screen stories. It's difficult, and here it wasn't really that good. So the story was weak. Another thing I did not like were the characters, some characters anyway. The first character I didn't like was Raiden. Raiden is supposed to be a god. Come on, he's supposed to be the protector of Earthrealm. But in this scenario, he was more like, well, was just like, well, whatever. He was like just there picking up a check, to be honest. I'm not even knocking the actor that played him. It's just what he was given. He could only do so much with what he was given. From the 1995 one, we had Christopher Lambert play the role of Raiden, and even though we know from the video games that Raiden is of Asian descent, we were able to accept Christopher Lambert in that role because he brought gravitas to it. He was just coming off the heels of playing the Highlander movie roles, and it was good. He was like a god. In this scenario, it was like the opposite. I didn't feel Raiden here was like a god. I didn't feel him like a protector. He didn't inspire the fighters. He was knocking them down most of the time. So I was like, what kind of tough love Raiden is this? But that's what it was, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the character of Cole. He's a new character. He's supposed to be like a Johnny Cage character, but they have this arc with him and his family, surrounding him and his family, trying to protect my family from evil and so on and so forth. But it was just all over the place. I think they were just there for, I don't know, to be honest, to move the story along, because anytime we cut back to them, it just slowed the story down. And in terms of story, I like the story for the story arc of Jax and Sonya. That was good. It's much more rich and full than with what we've had in previous iterations of them. So that was a plus in this scenario. One of the good things I didn't say was the final fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That was a lovely fight. It was good. It was well worth it. I think that's the best thing of the movie, to be honest. It was good. All those things that you see, Sub-Zero creating a shadow of himself, a frozen shadow of himself, creating a wall, freezing someone's blood and using it as a tool to impale them and all that stuff. That was brilliant. So that's my take. Is it better than the 1995 movie? No, not in my opinion. But is it bad? No, it's not bad. It's not all that bad. It's average, I would say. And I've started doing something in this channel. We're going to be rating movies based on slates. So like movie slates that they use for in production and scenes and stuff. So we have the rating from no slates to 5. And in that format, I'm going to give this movie 3 slates out of 5. It's something you can watch and enjoy yourself, but it's not like a movie up there, but it's good. They can do better, and I know they will do better in the sequels if they choose to proceed with in that line. But I think it's going in the right direction from this one. So that's my take. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Take care.